It's time for Around the Ozarks Sports Scene, sponsored by Fast Break Sports and The Pitch. Now here's your host, Scott Puryear.
Welcome into another edition of Around the Ozarks Sports Scene. I am Scott Puryear, and as always, thank you for tuning in this week to the podcast. We always like to honor and recognize tremendous achievements in the Ozarks, and very fitting to do that today with our guests. They are representatives of the Fair Grove Volleyball team, Coach Tonya Peck and Senior Brooke Daniels, coming off a 41-0 season that resulted in another state championship, back-to-back years for state championships in volleyball. Ladies, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Coach, tell us your general thoughts about back-to-back and repeating, and did it feel any differently the second time than the first one?
Honestly, I don't know that I have enough words to adequately describe everything that has happened over the past, year. So, but I don't know that it definitely felt different. I don't know if it was necessarily obviously we had a goal in mind to start the season, and that was to make it back to the Final Four. But the fact that we did it in the fashion that we did it with no losses is unbelievable to me. I've been around volleyball long enough to know that that does not happen in the sport of volleyball. So a miracle season, if you will, just happened, and I'm just so thankful that I was a part of it.
Brooke, was there any pressure as you guys got closer to the end of the regular season, at least, knowing that the unbeaten thing was still intact? I mean, were you guys... did you have, first of all, either one of you, did you have any matches go beyond the three sets?
We did. At the Final Four, both of those games were 3 sets. But earlier in the season, we did. We kind of had a rough stretch for about a week or so in our season, and we had some games that we struggled with and had to come from behind. And I think that prepared us well. And then we dropped a set to Eldo in our district championship, and then we dropped a set to Miller in the quarterfinal game.
Yeah. And Brooke, what about the pressure of going undefeated? Did it ever start to mount, or for you guys as seniors?
Not really, because we just went into every game and just focused on one game at a time. And so I really don't feel like we focused on the overall record of our team. I think we just went into each game and knew we had to win to move on. So I think that was our focus.
How much did it help all of you guys having been there last year, and going through this year and the unbeaten string and then getting back to the Final Four? Was last year's experience a big help, Brooke?
Definitely. We only graduated 3 seniors, so that helped us a lot. And all of those girls that we brought to Cape with us, most of them had varsity experience and went to state. And so I think just coming back, we were prepared, we'd been there before, so we knew, what to do, what to expect, and just going into the game, we just knew we'd have to focus and just play as a team.
Tonya, 24 years at Fair Grove, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And obviously, this is not the first burst of success for the program. I know your first year, I think you guys went to the Final Four and then had a string of, 19 consecutive 20-win seasons or something crazy like that?
Something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. What has kept you in Fair Grove all these years? Because obviously there are opportunities to jump up to larger schools, maybe come into the COC or Springfield, and with your record and your accomplishments, and what kept you there?
Honestly, God told me to stay put. So He opened the doors for me to get to Fair Grove 24 years ago, and it's been a blessing ever since. And I love raising my family here. This community is awesome. The people I work for, this student body, it is a very special place. And I told somebody a few days ago that I bleed purple, and so I'm just very blessed to be here.
And you're a small town girl as well, right?
Yes, I am.
Is it Ash Grove? Is that correct?
Yes, that's where I graduated from.
What was your maiden name?
Cox.
Cox, okay. And played volleyball at Missouri State West Plains?
Yes, and at SBU.
And SBU, awesome. So volleyball, has that always been kind of in your blood? When did you start out as a kid?
Actually, the first time I picked up a volleyball was a 7th grader. But I was more of a basketball player. I had more offers for basketball, but there was just something about volleyball that I fell in love with, and so that was kind of the route I chose after high school.
And when you settled into Fair Grove as a new coach, did you instantly fall in love with the community and the support, or did that take some time? I know you had a pretty good team right off the bat there with the Final Four group.
Yeah, I mean, I think that helped a lot, definitely, to come in and have that success right off the bat. But, I mean, I was welcomed with open arms, and our administration, the support that we have here as coaches, they back us, they support us, and it's just been one of those things that it's never been a thought to me to go elsewhere. I definitely have had some offers, but staying put has been where God's wanted me.
So I got to ask you, and I asked this when I had Chris Parker of the Ozone on here a couple weeks ago, what is going on at Fair Grove? Because I grew up in a town of about, you guys are population 1,600 thereabouts. I grew up in a small town. It's rare that you get just a group that comes through that does all this, but it sounds like you guys are pretty stacked going back class to class now and set up for a while. What's in the water in Fair Grove? I made the joke that a bunch of the parents get together 17, 18 years ago and make super babies. What happened out there?
Well, I mean, honestly, this group of girls that we've got right now, they've been playing since they were tiny together. And I think a lot of it, there's a lot of factors to it, but I really think that I've never had a group of girls as a whole that love to put on the purple and white and compete for their town and compete for their school. They love the kids that they play. They love their teammates. They love the person they're playing next to, and they fight just as hard for them as they do for themselves. And so I think that's pretty special. But I also want to give a shout out to our parents, the parents of the kids that we have. It's a very unselfish atmosphere. They cheer just as loud for the friends of their daughters as they do their own daughters, and that's across the board for our football team, for our other sports and our other activities. There's just a lot of support, and it's not about the individual, it's about the team as a whole, and that's preached from the home, and it definitely shows when we get them on the court.
Brooke, what do you remember about the first age that you kind of started getting into Fair Grove? Knowing about the high school teams and maybe following their games and matches, basketball, volleyball, the whole thing, and you and your friends. When did you guys kind of start getting together and playing together and kind of paying attention to what could be down the road?
Most of us girls have gone here our entire lives. So, we're always really little, coming to the high school games and just watching them and just realizing that one day that was going to be us. And so we were super excited. And now that it's here and it happened, I'm really sad that it's over, but I'm really happy that I got to do it for this school and be here, because we're very, very fortunate for what we have here and the group of girls that we have.
What age did you guys start playing together? Would you say, was it kindergarten? Was it around that time, or what do you remember?
Yeah, I would say probably around that time. We were super duper little, and we've all just kept playing together ever since.
And that's every sport for the most part?
Yeah, every single one.
Were those parent coaches back in the day, moms or dads, or who was kind of the common denominator coaching wise for you guys?
Yeah, we had Ashton Bell, her dad. He coached us in basketball, and then one of our really good friends, she went to school at Fair Grove, Lindy. She coached our club volleyball team. So yeah, it's mainly just been parents and mentors, I guess, to us.
Tonya, when do you realize and kind of know that there's something coming? And when did you find out about this group and last year's seniors? Did you notice them in elementary or junior high? Because I know as a coach that's planning on staying put, you kind of keep an eye and an ear out to what's coming up.
Yeah, for sure. These kids, like Brooke was saying, they've been playing ball together for a really long time. And so, when they're in elementary school and they're out winning these little tournaments and things like that, as a high school coach, you kind of start to pay attention. And then, like Brooke said, we have an awesome person in Lindy Carver. She played for me back in the day, and then she is one of our lead coaches. She is our lead coach for FG Unit Club Volleyball. It's a club volleyball that we do out here. And so she took this group under her wing, and has been coaching them, and they were going out winning the club tournaments, which is kind of unheard of for a school team. Mm-hmm. It was all Fair Grove kids to go out and win these club tournaments when it's against teams, from the best of the best from all these different schools put together. And so when that starts happening, something good is around the corner. And so, yeah, we, as coaches, we pay attention to that. And, like I said, these kids, they're so athletic, but more importantly, they're just good human beings.
Did you start getting them in camps at an early age?
Yes, and they kind of did some of the camps themselves at an early age. But as far as high school goes, like, we go to a lot of team camps, and I try to get them a lot of college exposure as far as coaches coming into our gym and running some practices or some clinics, and then getting them on campuses elsewhere just to get more touches and more team cohesion and things like that.
Brooke, Coach made a good point about the club volleyball, and that obviously in all sports right now, club is so huge with AAU and everything else, and the big clubs, volleyball. Were there ever girls that wanted to defect and play in one of the more regional type clubs, or did you guys just kind of make a pact and say, hey, you know what? We're Fair Grove. This is good for Fair Grove in our high school season. How did you guys approach that?
I mean, yeah, for the most part, we stayed together, like, all of our years, and I don't feel like there was a lot of girls that, like, wanted to go elsewhere just because we had all grown up together and always played together, so there really wasn't that, like, thought of going somewhere else. We always just wanted to be with each other and play with each other.
What do you guys do for entertainment as a group in Fair Grove? What's a Saturday night like for your group of classmates and teammates?
I mean, usually it kind of depends. Like, if we're hanging out, we're probably, like, off. The girls definitely off dancing somewhere. Like, we love to dance and just, like, hang out together, and we'll go eat together sometimes. And I know after football games, the girls and the football boys, like, go and eat at McDonald's and just kind of hang out together as just, like, one community and, like, one class.
Are you the best dancer of the group?
Oh, gosh, no. We got some girls that can dance on my team, that's for sure.
Who do you want to call out as the best dancer and the worst dancer?
Oh, the best dancer? Probably Ashton. Ashton's a pretty good dancer. The worst dancer? Probably me. I'm probably the worst.
Wow, listen to that. Taking one for the team right there. So have you guys had a chance to catch your breath, Brooke, in terms of basketball? I mean, you guys are two-time defending state champions in that as well. It's a lot of the same girls. Have you already put on the other tennis shoes and hit the basketball court?
Yeah, so we ended our season on Saturday, and then we got to come into the gym on Monday and start practice. And it was good to be back with all of our girls because, like, the girls that don't play volleyball had already been practicing the week before. And so it was just good to be back with them and, like, kind of see, like, how practice was going and just get a feel for that. But it's a lot different now because basketball is definitely a different shape than volleyball is. But, I mean, it's a lot of fun just to be back, and I'm glad we're hitting the ground running with that.
You also play, what, run track and play softball, correct?
Yes, I do.
And how do you do both those in the spring?
So usually practice-wise, I usually split practice. So I usually go, like, the first half to softball or the first half to track, and then I split. And on game days, I just go to, like, whichever team's having a game. But if both teams have one, then I go to, like, the conference game or the conference meet, whatever. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you have it mapped out pretty much before the spring season starts, where you'll be on which meet and which game day, things like that?
Yeah, we do. Our coaches, like, get together. They talk about which track meet are going to, and then I just go.
What do you run in track?
Last year I ran the 4x1, 4x2. I threw javelin, and I ran the 300-meter hurdles.
And then in softball, what do you play?
I'm a catcher.
Catcher? Oh, that's an easy position in softball. You don't have to be very involved in that, do you?
Definitely not.
Well, I'm sure your softball coach probably has a mild panic if you're not there for one of the games as a catcher, because that's very important. But what are you going to do when this four-sport world is done? I mean, what's life going to be like for you, come next June?
I mean, I've definitely thought about that a lot. It's going to be a big change for me because my whole life I've always done everything that I can. And so I don't know, just like going into college, I think I'm going to only want to do one sport, but it's going to be a hard decision for me to decide like what sport I'm going to do because, like I said, I've done them my whole life and I like have a love for each and every one of them. So it's definitely going to be difficult.
Well, maybe you could take some dance lessons starting in June or something, to improve your ranking there. Yeah, but
I might have to.
What are your thoughts on college right now? What do you lean toward? Kind of give me some of your options. Let us know about that.
I mean, I'm not really leaning one way or the other. I have offers at Evangel, and I don't know. I might go there, but I'm still gonna wait until after basketball season to like fully decide because, like I said, like it's gonna be really hard for me to pick one, and so I just want to be like completely sure of my decision and not like have any second thoughts.
Are there any places you could play both, or two, or three?
Yeah, I could do. I mean, track, basketball, and volleyball. Evangel wants me to come do those, but I think I only want to do one, so I haven't really quite decided or narrowed that down yet. But
Tonya, tell us about Brooke, the volleyball player, and what you like about her.
Well, I guess I can say this now. Like she's no longer my kiddo, but she's definitely the best athlete, best volleyball player that I've ever had the privilege to coach. They don't make them like Brooke. It's probably embarrassing her for me to sit here and say this while she's sitting right in front of me, but she's a different breed. She's one in a million. And like I said, I've never seen an athlete like her, not just ones that I've coached, but just in the 24 years of me coaching any sport, because I used to coach basketball, track. I mean, I've done it all. I've never seen a kid like her. And so wherever she lands up, like my heart's going to be broken if I never get to see her touch a volleyball again. But at the same time, I love her more as a person. So I want her to go and choose what she's going to love to do because it's different at the college level. It's a job. And so she's got to have a big heart and a big passion for whatever she chooses. So whatever she does, I'm going to be there front row, front and center to cheer her on and be her biggest fan. So,
now, when you say that one of a kind, is that athleticism? Is it intangibles? Both? What would you say?
All of it. Mm-hmm. She's the real deal. She's the whole package. So, the mental side of her competitive edge, the heart that she has, the drive that she has to be a better athlete. The leadership, her heart for other people, I mean, it's just truly unmatched. And all of those things together make her the phenomenal athlete and person that she is.
That's awesome. And I know that your role at Fair Grove, I believe you're a counselor, are you not?
Yes, I am.
So I mean, you kind of get to be coach and kind of help these kids find college places, but you get to help regular students do that. Is that a role that you embraced from the get-go and really cherish?
I do. I actually, so for the first 14 years, I was actually a physical education teacher, and God kind of opened some doors and made me realize, like, I was already playing the counselor role to my athletes, and so I thought, well, why not extend that role and try to reach more kids and be able to help more kids besides just my athletes that I'm coaching. And so 10 years ago, I decided to do the counselor route. So I've been doing that. This is my 10th year in the counselor's office. So I'm able to make connections now with not just the girls that I coach, but other students as well. And I really love it.
Now, the last story I saw, you'd crossed the 500 victory mark back, I believe, 2021. Have you hit 600 yet?
Yes.
You have? Awesome. Mm-hmm. And how much longer? I mean, you got a good thing going out there. I think they've won 51 in a row. Peyton Manning walked away from the Broncos with a Super Bowl title. Is that not on your mind right now either?
I am just waiting for God. I mean, every year I just stop and at the end of the season and just take a deep breath and just wait to see what I'm supposed to do next. So that's kind of where I'm at.
And what does it look like behind these seniors? What do you got coming up?
Well, that's awesome that you asked that because I get a chance to brag on my JV kids. Our JV, all the juniors that sit the bench on the varsity, mm-hmm. and then plus some of my underclassmen on the JV group, they went undefeated this year, which, again, you just don't hear that often. So our varsity and our JV both went undefeated.
Wow.
Well, big things still to come, for sure.
What about junior high? Are they still coming down there as well?
Oh, yeah. They had a great season. Off the top of my head, I don't know the record, but I know the 8th graders only had a few losses, and the same with the 7th graders.
Brooke, what is it about Coach Peck that makes her so successful and fun to play for?
I mean, she's just like really fun to be around, and she's like she said, she truly is your biggest fan. And going into practice every day, you just know that like if you have a bad practice, she's not going to be like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Like she's going to tell you that it's okay, like it's going to be a better day tomorrow. And just playing for her means the world to all of us, and especially me. She really is like our role model and just who we look up to. And it's amazing that we got to have her as a coach and just to look up to her and one day hopefully be like her.
Now, when you win 51 in a row, including 41-0 this year, there aren't probably a lot of opportunities to get mad. Have you seen her get mad before?
Yeah, I've definitely seen her get mad before.
What makes her mad?
Well, when we don't talk, and when not even like when we're struggling, but like when she tells us something specific that we need to work on, and then like we go out there and we don't fix it. She definitely gets mad then. But like I said, it's all out of love, and she just wants us to be the best that we can, and so she knows that we can be better, and so she's like telling us. Well,
you physically and probably still mentally transitioning to basketball. As I mentioned earlier, the 2-time defending Class 3 state champions. Is this a group that feels like there's a third one as a possibility there come next March?
I mean, yeah, it's always a possibility. I think this group, we have a very special group right now. And going into this season, like, we have a huge target on our backs. But, I mean, that comes with winning a state title. And as long as we just stick together and remember our why and just play for each other, I think that this season will go the way we want it to.
Well, Tonya, it's going to be a tough graduation for you next May, isn't it?
It was a tough night Saturday night already, so yes, it will be.
What are you going to remember most about this group as a whole?
I'm not sure. I've told them, and Brooke can attest to this, that sometimes that I get frustrated with them as much as I love them, which is a lot. So they are like one of my own. I've known this whole group since they were pretty much in diapers, and so I've been able to sit back and watch them grow up into some amazing young women. And so yeah, I do feel like a big piece of my heart is getting ready to walk out the doors. So.
Well, it's been an incredible accomplishment, both the past 2 years and before that even, Brooke. And we're excited to watch you play basketball, see what you can do there, and then, of course, the spring sports. And Coach Peck, congratulations on another state championship. Sure appreciate you guys' time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yes, thank you.
You betcha. That's going to do it for another edition of Around the Ozarks Sports Scene. Special thanks to Coach Tonya Peck and Senior Brooke Daniels out at Fair Grove. What a tremendous run they've had with back-to-back state volleyball championships, the 41-0 record this year, 51-match winning streak, and look for them to do big things with the same group of girls predominantly for basketball as they chase down a third straight basketball state championship. Big thank you to our sponsors, Fast Break Sports and The Pitch. Of course, Fast Break Sports located off South Campbell. Your home for all things sports cards and collectibles. They've got memorabilia. They've got stuff for your man cave. Great time to go see the guys at Fast Break Sports because it's Christmas time. That perfect gift awaits. And as I mentioned last week, we're going to head over there for another live show or live taping to talk about some of the things they have here pretty soon with a local card collector and high school sports standout. Hopefully you can join us that day as well. And, of course, The Pitch is your home for great pizza, pasta, calzones, sandwiches, beverages, salads. They've got it at The Pitch over in the Southern Hills Shopping Center off East Sunshine. Go see Brian and the folks there. We always tell you each week about what to watch, brought to you by The Pitch. You can catch most of these things live on their TVs in The Pitch. We'll start out this week with high school football district title games. I know Branson Republic are hooking up, and then Nixon and Joplin, too, that'll have a lot of interest in the area on Friday night as they try to move on to the state quarterfinals, both programs there. Got some Missouri State Bears basketball home on Saturday against Tulsa. 1 o'clock tip-off for that one with Conzo Martin's team as the Bears are 1-0 going into that. Big one for Missouri State football. We've talked about their 8-game winning streak. They're 8-2 now overall, still undefeated in the Missouri Valley Conference. They go to North Dakota State, which is 9-1 and has won 9 in a row. That's a 2:30 kickoff on Saturday. You'll be able to watch that on ESPN Plus as the Bears try to keep this hot streak going against one of the predominant favorites in the Missouri Valley. And, of course, the Chiefs play again on Sunday. They've got a big one. They go to Buffalo to take on the Bills. It's a 3:25 kickoff on CBS. You'll be able to check that one out as Kansas City tries to keep this magical unbeaten season where they keep finding a way. A blocked field goal attempt this past week. They win in overtime the week before. Patrick Mahomes and company finding a way to win, which they've done now for the last several seasons, including back-to-back Super Bowl championships. But they'll take on Josh Allen and the Bills. 3:25 on Sunday on CBS. That's another matchup you can catch at the pitch. That's going to do it for this week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Around the Ozarks Sports Scene.